Hey guys, so today we're just yapping and reflecting. As a person who's really into the animal rights movement, it's just so disheartening to see non-vegans do more than actual vegans. And that's just my opening line, because it does bother me so much, and it's just so disheartening to see. You're thinking, oh my god, we are less or around 1% of the population, and then boom, from that percentage most people are not being active and they're not advocating for animals even more. Because I do believe that every single step towards veganism is great. I do believe that, and I'm not diminishing that at all. However, I do think that, and maybe it's kind of sad, but I do believe that it's never enough, because this has not stopped and animals are still suffering every single day. So I do believe that it's never enough. So for example, if someone is a vegetarian, I'm always like, please go vegan. Again, every single step towards veganism is amazing. And for example, there was a time where I was a vegetarian before I transitioned to veganism, and that was great. But I just feel like it's never enough, because of course it's not over yet, and animals are still out there. Billions of animals suffer just every single second. Just now, this time that I'm talking, so many animals are dying, and I'm just like, it's insane that the people who are supposed to care and the people who care are not doing something else. Because that's how I started, and I guess that's my own experience, where it's like, I started as a volunteer, because you maybe follow me on Instagram and you're like, this girl just goes random shit, which is true. But that's not the only thing I do. I also work with nonprofits, and I have both sides, where it's like, honestly, social media is only my outlet, and it's only something where I feel so comfortable sharing my creative, unfiltered side, because I feel like everyone can use anything like that. So I just feel like so comfortable, and it's kind of like my safe space and my community, and I love every single one of the people who just resonate with my content. But apart from that, you might be like, well, what does she know? Because she's the Instagram person, whatever, and vegan person who just posts random shit. And I am, but I also have this whole other world where it's like, I work with nonprofits, and I get to see how people, the ones who should be caring, are not really caring enough. Because I manage volunteers, and it's so disheartening to see that a lot of the people who volunteer are actually non-vegans. And honestly, it's great to see that. It's also sad, because you would think this is a really niche thing to help animals, and it's not a requirement to be a vegan. But it's so crazy to me, and kind of sad, but also kind of good. It has two sides of me, where it's like, my sad part is just like, why are we as vegans not the ones doing this stuff, and not being active, and not offering our skills or our time or anything for the animals? Because again, of course they're vegans, and so many vegans out there are probably like, well, I'm already vegan, period. Because I feel like everyone is like, oh, vegans just want everything, or not even vegans, just like animal advocates and animal rights activists just want everything. But again, it's obviously it's never enough, because animals are still out there suffering. So obviously I'm not gonna be like, oh well, it's fine if you only abuse this amount of children, don't worry. It's better than abusing 8 children is better than abusing 10, obviously. Like, I think it's that mindset. Of course we want everything to stop. So my point, what was my point? Oh my god, I forgot it, sorry. My point is that it's just so crazy to me to think about stuff like this, where it's like, why are the vegans not the ones taking these roles and taking the initiative to actually do more for the animals? And that's where I was talking about, it's never enough. No, if someone is vegan, I want them to be active. And not only me, we as a movement should stay way more active than we are. We're only a tiny percentage of the population. Vegans are only a tiny percentage of the population. And then we need to, I don't even know how many animal rights advocates are out there, and actual activists doing actual work with many categories. We have social media, we have nonprofit stuff, we have so many categories that need to be covered, lobbying, everything, right? And I just it's just such a sad thing to see. We are a tiny part of the population, and then I see these roles and we are looking for people, and it's like you don't even have to be vegan yourself. And then I see non-vegans apply for these roles, and I'm like, how is it possible that within the same vegan movement, the same vegan people don't want to? And it's so funny because that's literally what I get asked a lot in my Q&A sometimes. Pretty much every single time I do a Q&A, it's like, how do I get friends in the movement? I'm the only vegan, how do I get friends? And every single time I tell them the same thing, and I tell you guys the same thing: volunteer and do activism. And it's not about trying to sell anything or trying. I do this because it's my passion and it's what I believe in, and it's because I care about the animals, and it's literally my life's mission, just to try to contribute to the welfare of animals. So that's literally how I started. That's pretty much my point. That's how I started, apart from being a random social media person, which I am. But I started as a volunteer with a nonprofit because I cared, and it's like an ongoing thing that I have. I started as a volunteer. I just wanted a volunteer role because I was like, it is not enough. I'm vegan, but it's not enough. I need to do something. I cannot not do something. So I started volunteering. It was great. Then I was able to go to an animal rights conference. It was such an amazing experience. I got to meet so many amazing individuals, and it's just such an amazing oasis of hope with these people. It's just such an amazing welcoming movement, because we are only a few people who share the same feeling, and it's just so beautiful. And we get together and it's so cool. And the fact that everyone started there just because they wanted to do something for the animals. So I feel like a lot of people don't realize how important that is. And even for your own health, even for our own well-being, it's just so important to have a community. And that's why also social media, I feel like it's so important to even be able to laugh at one meme. That's why I do that on Instagram, because I love it. And it's even, like I said, it's an outlet for myself. So the fact that people do not realize that they could be doing so much more, and it doesn't, I feel like activism for people is just like, oh, activism, and they think about like, oh, like a street, holding a sign on the street and just being like, don't eat animals. That is a way of activism, but there's so many other ways. There's platforms where you can, that's pretty much what I do, by the way. There's platforms where you can just use your skills. If you are a designer, if you are a developer, if you are an engineer, you can offer your skills to help nonprofits who are aiming to do something bigger for the animals. And you can just not leave your house and just do it remotely, and just be able to offer a couple of your hours a week. And that's pretty much activism. And you get to work with people who care about the same things and care about the same goal that you have. So it's just about how to build these bridges in order for us to work together and push this forward. And it's just so important for us to stick together. And I feel like a lot of people just don't realize that. And a lot of vegans don't realize that. I'm vegan and that's it, and I'm done. There's nothing else I can do. But it's actually so many other things we can do still. If we're already vegans, that's only the beginning to be able to just go active and start doing stuff. If you do not want to, or you don't have the time, or don't really want to talk to people because you're not really a people person, then you can start posting on social media and repost every single activist stuff you have and create content. Or if you don't like talking to a camera, then you can just do edits. I don't know, stuff like that. Every single thing counts. Every single way of activism is valid. And again, and I'm just naming a few. There's so many out there that I'm not even naming, or I don't even count maybe, but every single one counts. And it's just so frustrating to see non-vegans being more willing to do this stuff than actual vegans. And again, it's also kind of nice because it's like they're not even vegans, but they also want to contribute and they care about this. By the way, all of these things that I've seen, they're actually just unpaid stuff that people just want to help with, and they're not vegans themselves. So I'm like, why? And that's great, but I'm like, why are we vegans not doing more? And why are non-vegans taking these roles and not actual vegans, who are the ones who care? which we do, but I'm like, it's just so weird. I feel like there's this kind of sense of disconnect. And again, sometimes being able to volunteer is actually a privilege, because I know so many people have really intense jobs or so many other things, like a really busy life and everything. But I feel like there's always a way to do it, or there's almost always a way to do it. For example, instead of doom scrolling for 3 hours, you can dedicate 1.5 hours of that to posting about veganism, or to working with to work with one of the nonprofits that I'm telling you about. And it's just so crazy to me. And again, that's literally how I started, and that's how I've gotten more and more into the movement. I started as a volunteer, now I work with a couple of nonprofits, and it's just literally, so it's like my career at this point. And I just feel like a lot of people do not notice how important, even for myself, I would not be in the same mindset that I have right now if it weren't because of that amazing community that I'm able to have. And from both my Instagram, for example, because I love that community. It's just so amazing, and we get to laugh, and it's just so cool. But also the actual more serious nonprofit, both are serious, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying we have shit posting going on here, and then we have the other side where it's more serious and more pro kind of nonprofit world, and both are just amazing. And I'm just like, I need more people to realize how important it is to volunteer your time, to volunteer your skills and your passion. If you're really passionate about it, 1 to 3 hours a week are not gonna feel like anything. You're gonna want to do more because you care about it. If you really do care about it, then you're more than welcome to just offer whatever you can. And again, everyone has different stuff they can offer. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I need to go to this specific location and do this. No, you can do it remotely. You can work with a nonprofit depending on your own skills and depending on what your time looks like. So it's just amazing. And I don't know, I just felt like it's just so sad to see non-vegans take the roles that vegans should have. And again, it's nothing against those specific non-vegans, but it's just so crazy to think about people who are not even vegan. They also want to dedicate this time and skills to the movement. So I'm like, why are vegans not doing that? And it's just so sad to me to think about that. And again, every single time I say it, and I will continue to say it because I will never stop. Every time. How do I get friends in the movement? Volunteer and do activism. That's the way to go. That is literally the way to do it. And yes, there's probably more ways to do it, but that is always my go-to, because that is I'm only talking about my experience, right? I cannot tell you all of the other ways. There's probably more ways, obviously, but that is my way, and it's been such an amazing, life-changing thing just to be able to do what I love and what I care about and what I believe in and what I'm passionate about, alongside people who are just so amazing and they're so passionate like me, and it's just so amazing. It's just such an amazing opportunity. So this is also my invitation for you to look for opportunities, and I can list some resources on the description of this video, so you just look for stuff. There's some vegan job boards, there's some volunteering positions, there's this really cool thing called Flockwork, which is a website where I work actually. So anything like that is just amazing. So that's why I was just feeling like I needed to get that off my chest, because I feel like it's just like people are missing out. I'm like, people are missing out, and people are always asking how to connect with more people who care about the same issues. Here you go. And again, probably I just feel like people are just in their houses or in their jobs or just doing their normal life, and they're like, oh, I want randomly overnight, I just want to have my vegan group friend. And like, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. You need to get out there, you need to put your effort and time and care, and then you will have it, and you have everything. And by volunteering and by being active in any way, in any way is valid, like I said. And it's just so amazing. It is such an amazing movement, and I cannot emphasize enough how life-changing being part of the movement has been. And I just recommend it. That's it. I can just list and recommend you some stuff over the description if that's helpful. And also dig there's everything we can find it over the internet, so just go ahead and do a couple of searches and you'll be set. And there's always a way to help, and you can always reach out to others, maybe content creators that you like or mini influencers, anything, and DM them, and just there's a lot of people who are willing to help. So I guess I just wanted to just share that because it was in my thoughts, and I had not had some ranting here, and I just felt like I needed, and I had some time. Well, I never have time, but this time, see, I'm making time. See, I never have time, but I'm making time to rant because I love ranting, I love yapping. So there's that, and I just felt like I needed to tell you guys because, again, pretty much how to get friends. I guess that's the main issue and the main question that I get. And again, that also disclaimer, this is not me promising you if you volunteer into activism it's 100% sure that you're gonna have friends. No, I do need to be really clear about that. It's not about that. However, I'm just saying that that's how it happened to me, where it's like I started as a volunteer doing activism, and then life just takes you the way you are supposed to go, and you get friends because you start working in the movement, and I don't know. But it's also up to you, obviously. I just need to say that. It's also up to you. I cannot tell you volunteer and immediately you'll have a line for people to be your friend. Like, it's not gonna happen. Maybe if you're an amazing person, maybe, but I'm just saying, let's be realistic before you're like, oh, I would start volunteering and I have no friends. No, obviously you need to put a little effort and time and everything. But just a disclaimer before someone comes after me, just like, I don't have any friends. No, obviously. And I think that's all that I wanted to share in this video and this rant, because I just felt like it's just stressful. It's just really stressful. But thank you so much for watching. And if you got to this part of the video, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you watching all this, but I just needed to share it. I felt like this was a really important thing to share, and I always do, but I needed to have it somewhere permanently, and it's gonna live here. And this is just a reminder, please just do what you believe in, and please help the animals. And if you can, at least, I don't know, instead of doom scrolling, just offer those minutes, hours, seconds to the movement, and the animals will appreciate it, and you will appreciate it, because you will just feel better, and you will feel like part of the community, and you might be able to find some really cool friends and really amazing people to work with. So thank you.